Well, it's probably the poorest light. I may actually shift some things around so everyone can see me. I'm like, we need to go live tonight because there's some heavy energy. So I'll try and move something. And hopefully that will help with the lighting in the video. I was on the phone to Giggle Glimmer, so hello Giggle. And I'll wait for you guys to connect because everyone's probably going, what the devil is going on with this energy? It's 9:20 here in Perth, WA. And I wanted to address some of the downloads that I've been getting. Now, obviously with me at the moment, I'm in union. I'm a twin flame. I'm a psychic medium as well. And, you know, obviously we pick up on different energies, especially with our clientele. What I have been noticing really, really interesting, a lot of people are really questioning what's going on right now. It is very heavy energy. But what I am sensing, and you need to really have a look at your surroundings at the moment. Pay attention to your siblings. Pay attention to your peers, your co-workers, people that haven't gone through aspects of the dark night of the soul. There's a very interesting shift going on at the moment, and I do find it quite profound. A lot of things that I've spiritually gone through, and I did mention this last year, guys. I did mention that we would after probably since 2016, we would be witnessing some very interesting scenarios going on where other people were awakening. Now, I have noticed a very interesting trend where there are people making very unique statements. And obviously, when you've done aspects of spiritual work, there is a lot of anger. There is a lot of aggression. There is a lot of frustration in the path that one is following. Now, those of you also, there is a lot of projection coming towards you, where because you have done the work and you understand why we go through these tower moments, why we go through aspects of things being removed. It's really interesting. Even though I've done only 2 videos so far about the astrology, the energy has been super busy. The clientele that have come to me are super triggered. However, you know, we all move into different pockets and different waves. And I'm finding this burn-off effect. And I'll mention the reasons why I have made this video, the Phoenix burn-off, and I'll talk about that shortly. Now, with the twin flames, you guys are going to start witnessing some very aggressive energies, either directly coming towards you or you're going to be seeing it with people around you. The energy is because they've reached the awakened state. So they're going through a very aggressive awakening. There can be your children reacting very, very much fear-based frequencies. It can also be your friendships that you're looking at, and they're going through aspects of the dark night of the soul. They're very angry about the way their life is at the moment, but they're not aware of the power they physically have. You delicately may try to deal with the adversity and the conflict of the people around you. And this was something that I did mention last year, that we would be witnessing this mass awakening with other people. Other than the twin flame counterparts, masculine is going through a mass transformation as well. Their energy has shifted probably in the last 48 hours, very much so. And you'll always notice, especially with your counterpart, the energy within you will shift. Their energy has shifted where they're really, when you're coming through a detachment stage, you go through dissension and ascension, which is part of the burn off of the karmic cycle. But the karmic frequency is such that it's within you, and it's old patternings that we're burning off. The collective are also burning that off as well with the Aries energy. Now, it is positive in a sense that we do have Chiron and Aries, because it means we're not having any BS when it does come to the truth of the matter with things, when we're actually having to deal with them. So we are directly looking at conflict, and we're saying, hey, even if we didn't want to do something, we just can't not, because you've moved to a point where you've moved beyond that. So there is a lot of people at the moment that are looking at aspects in their life and realizing that something has to change. And I'm definitely seeing that happening within the collective as well. And there is a lot of aggression. I do feel there could be something on the media to a degree of connected to aggression. There has also been a lot of people passing, a lot of surprise changes. Now, definitely with Notre Dame burning, I didn't really want to touch base on that, but there are energies and downloads I have got to it, very separate to a lot of people that obviously have done videos, and I'm usually incredibly sensitive to the nature of that subject matter. I would deem myself as very spiritual. I wouldn't, yeah, spiritual. When it does come down to it, it's very synchronistic. You can always see movies that come through in a pattern, and there's scenarios of themes that are coming through in life, and it generally does follow suit with the collective of what is going on. I find it very profound that it was Mary Magdalene that was remaining in the building with a depiction of Jesus on her, on her lap. Just the depiction of it, she's got her hands in the air, and it's almost like aspects of ascension and trusting in universe, trusting in. And I did mention the theme detachment, and I have noticed a lot of readers. I made the video, I think, a month ago, and a lot of readers now are touching base on that subject matter of detachment. Now, when you're going to readers that are twin flames, what you do need to understand is find out if they've actually gotten to union. Because the success does come down to the aspects of you spiritually growing. A lot of you might not know that a lot of the aspects of your healing is crucial for that interconnection. And there is, even those of you who have done work, what you're going to find is you still continue to do work, but it's at a different level, it's at a higher level. So the detachment is, and it was interesting because when I was talking to Giggle on the phone, I did look over, and the first card I saw that's upright, which is the only card because I've got the Power of Manifestation cards out by Abraham Hicks. And I do feel they've got some messages for us tonight when I do tune into the masculine and feminine. The first card was my attention to the unwanted can't defy the laws of attraction. And I'll read the card to you because it's really unique in that. And I knew this was going to happen, raining. Universe is really messing with us at the moment, so we're just really swimming through that dark ocean. So if it gets loud, I'm sorry. Otherwise, I'll have to go inside. If your life has caused you to ask for an improved situation, no matter what it is, you are no longer offering chronic thought vibrations to the opposite of your desires. It's going to pour down. Your desire must come to you, but you cannot continue to keep a life within the vibrational pattern of what you do not want and to receive what you don't want. It's basically saying if you keep focusing on what you don't want, you're going to continue to get what you don't want. And it's been very difficult, I feel, for masculines and feminines to not, and I always mention the 5D versus 3D. Feminines are very 5D, masculines are very 3D. And it's almost like the yin and yang. To get into the alchemization of union, you need to understand, you need to grasp the 3D and deal with the 3D notions, but you need to keep connected to the 5D spiritually. So it's balancing the masculine and feminine frequency of the 3D versus the 5D and doing the work on the 3D, not just living in the Neptunian energy, potentially, the dreamlike state of just the 5D. When we do believe we can only have that connection within the 5D, we never alchemize it into the 3D, but we need to get into those wound cores. Now, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter being retrograde with all the Taurus frequency, being a Venus planet, it can theoretically be similar to a Venus retrograde. I'm telling you, universe is testing us. With that, have a look at what happens during a Venus retrograde. The first week, you tend to have bed of roses. This is beautiful. It looks amazing. The second week, you're really meditating upon the connection, romantically speaking. By the third week, you have buyer's remorse. We really need to be careful about what we hold as valuable when it does come to this Taurus energy. Because with the Taurus energy, what are we buying into that is lower frequency? It could be an easy way out. It could be instant gratification or energies of quick fixes. We want to look at the very harsh, thready nature of things. So regardless of the fact that we've got the Neptunian energy and we have all the Taurus placements, With the retrograde cycle, it's going to say, hey, Houston, we still have a problem. Is this situation in balance? Is there something we need to leave behind? Now, Pluto is about endings, and it's about really ripping the carpet out from under you. Saturn also is going to ask you to look crucially at those things of what is not in alignment for you, what's imbalanced, and it can be just within yourself. It doesn't have to be a direct 3D situation. And I do feel a lot of us are going through aspects of breaking our belief systems down. You know, are we living in lack? Are we living in the energy of, and, you know, during Jupiter retrograde, you will tend to find you'll get on a health kick. And it's generally because Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So one can expand both physically and, you know, spiritually, as well as within the 3D, you know, with your hopes and dreams. We do need the delusional planet to manifest these scenarios, and or else we potentially wouldn't have got as far as we directly have. So, you know, not one planet is bad or incorrect for us. Now, when I mentioned the video was called The Phoenix Burn-Off, a lot of us on the 3D perceive that what's going on right now with this whole, hey, we're trying to focus on only what we want. But realistically speaking, there are energies around us at the moment that we really don't want. Now, those things, we may, in an egoic state, be trying to energetically decipher the code and Morse code theory of how to sort it, how to correct it. Hi, Rachel. There is a frequency shift with the masculine where either A, you're directly in communication, or B, you're wondering what they're doing. I've started running every day for the last week. Yeah, it's very common during Jupiter retrograde because we're wanting to get our health back in check. And it's very warm all of a sudden. Now, the burn-off effect of what we're not understanding through the twin flame journey is the fact that this transit of what we're going to go through, we need to detach from what we think is going to happen. Now, in theory, a lot of times we look at tower moments as negative things. And from my experience in the twin flame journey, you need to allow those towers to happen. A lot of times when we're in rescuer mode, we get the vibration, we receive the vibration, we tune into it and we try to save, or we try to steer the ship in a better format of our egoistic opinion of what we feel through life experience, what would be a safer option. A lot of the uncertainty that is coming through at the moment is for us to detach, and I did mention that last month. We need to understand that universe has now intervened. So a lot of what is going on right now might not feel super comfortable. And I do feel very much that universe has actually directly intervened. There are many, many karmic cycles at the moment that are ending. Not one of us has control over those things. And I do very much feel that wherever potentially there is going to be a tower moment, it is very much divinely guided. Now, there was a point in my twin flame journey where for a very long time, I had tackled it over the years from various angles. And it was like, okay, I tried that last time, I'll do this, which is, to a degree, you're learning patterns, but you're not releasing and trusting that anything that is meant to be yours will always be yours. You shouldn't have to fight. You know, you shouldn't have to feel. Yes, the growth and everything in my transition was necessary, but very much the tipping point for me was complete detachment. It was letting it go and saying, okay, and it did reach a point where I energetically thought to myself, maybe this is not today. But it was, depending on how strong your ego is, you may need to come to that point energetically to detach, to reshift the focus completely onto you. Now, and I did put a post up in community, so if those of you are new, do go through and read it. And it's a bit of a reflection about part of my process of what I went through. And there was a point where I realized, okay, am I running? And it was from the fear-based frequencies. It was from the physical frequency of connection, because the further into the journey you get, you do tune into your twin's vibration very heavily. So you receive that energy all the time, and it can become very toxic. Not that it's intended to be so, but due to the fact that one party will be the feminine empath, regardless of what sex you are, you will energetically have a more spiritual nature about you. So you will tune into that energy and it will feel like it's your own. It will be something that you will have to master and decipher between what's yours and what's theirs. Not that you can really do anything about it, but breathe the energy in, detach and say, that's your frequency. I know you can handle it. And then shift your focus onto something else. Through that process, when the separation did occur, I did realize a lot about myself. And it was that I had spent most of the time within that connection running. Now, a lot of times, and a lot of the information on YouTube very much is that there is a runner chaser. And I actually question that now. And I will say that because I have been on this journey over 18 years. And I do truly think that if you do sit down and you meditate about it, when you reached the point where energetically the breakup occurred, however that is with your connection, you may have already had your foot in a different door, in a different direction, or checking out due to fear-based frequencies. Now, it's not that you didn't love the person. It's that the energy and the imbalance within the situation was there. So at a spiritual level, on the 5D, you were the runner. But you were not running from your twin. You were running from yourself. So in order to prevent that from happening, you do need to get to a point where you actually realize there are some things going on your side of the fence that you can actually look at. Now, in that process of allowing the towers to fall down, it was there where the balance started coming through. Now, obviously, still on the twin flame path, and yes, there are energies coming through. Now, a few things I've noticed over the last 2 weeks. One, for feminine energies, and it's going to be the most bizarre statement, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's something I've noticed. Check your bra size. There is a lot of heart activation at the moment, and you will find that some of you have not gained weight, yet it could be the chest area is becoming tighter, and it is because the heart chakra is being activated. The heart palpitations as well, as Shelley said, giggle. Yes, that has been coming through. There has also been sensitivities to food. There's also been third eye, headaches, a lot of sinus. Again, the egoic mind is being detached from. We are having these things happen to come to a point, and you'll find with the heart chakra activation, even these toxic energies coming through, it is almost to the point where these people, you would love to have this like throat chakra event, but you actually are having a heart chakra activation where you know why they're going through what they're going through. So the empath aspect, and it might feel quite oxymoron to you, where you're thinking, I could really say 101 things to you, but you directly understand and have the compassion for the people involved. It could be your mother, your father, your siblings, whoever it be, whoever you directly feel that energy could be. It could be 101 people, but there is a lot of reflection going on, especially for feminines. There is very much a purging on both sides of the fence. Now, I do feel as though for feminines, you also are letting go of things. Now, those things you're letting go of are because you know they can't go with you. So you're needing to either energetically or at a 3D level let things go, but you're assessing what is and what isn't in balance. And it can just be a mindset. It doesn't have to be a physical thing, but it can definitely be a mindset. But the third eye has been really mucked with, but I do feel it's because some of the things you're not meant to see, some of the things you're meant to detach from and trust in universe. And it's a healthy way universe gives you a way to detach. Because when we are in our ego, we're in our third eye quite a bit, and we're not trusting in the process of the things that are coming through. Also, check your left side there. And look, I worked in the care field for a while, so forgive me if I'm very frank and straight to the point. Check your left side. There can be ovary-related dynamics. There can be cycles changing for feminines. There can also be bowel-related scenarios going on because I'm more picking the left side, lower back, achy bones. What else have I been noticing? I'm also seeing, and I do believe, who did I hear the other day? And it was really unique. You may find you're seeing different totems. Now, I did see a ladybug, and that does denote new beginnings. It does denote luck as well. Caterpillars getting ready to go into their cocoon, ready to hatch and have that new beginning. There's also been a lot of darker energy, but it feels it's dissipating and dying. And I've got to remember the man. Giggle, who was that one that you said you watch? He mentioned something today. I'll have to think of his name. He talks with a lunar ash sometimes. I've forgotten his name now. I can't say I watch him a lot, but I do. I'll wait for Giggle to write. Yeah, the dry throat has been coming through. It's not because you need to say something. It's because you're purging an aspect. The Peace Stealer. Shout out Peace Stealer. I love what you do. Now, he was doing an interview with a lady today, and I briefly listened to a little bit. And a lot of what she was saying, I truly do agree with. And again, as I said, she is also a twin flame, and he did an interview with a twin flame. And forgive me if I'm not mentioning her name. I only was able to watch about 10, 15 minutes because I had a lot of things going on. But within the interview, he did mention a cockroach, and it might have been directly connected to a previous conversation he had. The interesting thing is I have been seeing a lot of, again, when you connect them with dark energies, it can be very damp, wet energies, right? You do tend to find the manifestation of those darker realm energies are within dampness. So you will always be able to sense within a home where those darker energies are. The interesting thing is cockroaches are directly connected to moist areas and darker frequencies and energies, and the bloody things can live through, nuclear bombs. I have been noticing a lot of them dead, and he had mentioned that, and I do agree with him. There is a lot of Neptunian energy, obviously. You do tend to find around the moon cycles, especially with your ascension, you will tend to be more connected in with the 5D. Now, regardless of the fact that your third eye is being mucked with, you still will be getting the downloads, but away from your egoic mind because you're in the 5D. You also may go through a stage most recently of chronic fatigue. Extreme fatigue where you're trying, and the energy is picking up where we're getting more, but when you're going through a purge, you'll find when you're battling with the ego, you're having a purge to a degree to have your ascension, because it goes in various stages. It doesn't happen overnight. You will have a descension before you have the ascension, and you can get flu-like symptoms, purging, nausea, vomiting, headaches, emotions, and I'm feeling a lot of it's funny because the purging is coming in short and sharp, and then the movement forward. No sooner have you dealt with a 3D task, are you having another one and you're coming back out of it and you're moving back again. Now, yes, there are a lot of darker energies, and vibrationally, I do actually feel that a lot of the energies you're sensing around you in a fair-based frequency term is the energies you're sensing that are directly around you. There is a lot of the evil eye going around at the moment, and that again can be the Aries energy. And I did say by about mid-month, there's more Taurus frequency than there is Aries. Aries is technically the first house, so there can be an egoic state. Now, first house is not bad when we're doing the intuitive work to check in with ourselves. But if we're projecting, it can be very egotistical, very aggressive, very self-centered and angry. So those that are very stuck in the dense energy will be very aggressive and dangerous. I'm just saying it. You do need to white light yourselves, and you do need to be cautious about how you directly relate during this transit. And I do feel it's for a short pocket of time, but it's very interesting because the first eclipse we had in January was in Capricorn. Now, at the very end of the year, we say each eclipse cycle has a transit and a frequency of 6 months. The end of the year, the last eclipse that we have is in Capricorn again, ending out the cycle for the next movement moving into the age of Aquarius. We are literally burning off frequencies this year. So what is not meant to go with you, you need to let it go. what is not in alignment with you, you need to let it go. You need to get yourself prepared, because next year is going to be profound. It's a number 4 year. You will need to be a team player. You will need to know that if you put the work in next year, you can have your connection. Those of you who are really struggling through the purging process and the healing and the detachment, you are still going to get your union, because it is part of your process of what you are meant to be here for. You cannot avoid that, but you are not to sit there and hold space. You need to do your spiritual work. Trusting and detaching is the way you can attract it, because it is breaking the codependent patterning. While you shift your energy, don't get into fear that because you're not hearing from them, because you are not getting messages from them, or other people are getting into union, that you're not going to have that too. If you have that frequency, again, it is another aspect of a purge that you're requiring to do. The sooner you do that, you're open to that frequency. But there is a lot we will be moving into the age of Aquarius with that will be light. No more BS. No more area and room for wiggle with those frequencies. There will not be room. If that means mass tower moments, there will be mass tower moments. Are there any questions before I start pulling the cards? Now, I also am feeling with the masculine, they are going through a transformative state, and I do feel they're in, don't even feel they're not awake. They are well and truly awake. If you deem not awake, well and truly awake. Yes, feminines and masculines, probably for the last 2 weeks, have been swaying, going back into old patterning. It's felt like a yo-yo. It's felt pretty shit, to be quite honest. You know your truth, you're connected in, you're anchored in, and you're moving forward, and then something's pulling you back, and then you're going back into a codependent patterning of, oh, I need to find that hermit rock, I need to go and do something that feels more, conditioned to the belief system of safe. Both parties are doing that, but then realizing, no, we can't go back now. We're proceeding forward. So every energy is doing that. The masculines have reached that point of realizing it's not a balanced situation. So any old codependent patterns, I feel they're really breaking away from, because they feel spiritually for themselves, once you reach a point in your ascension, you can't go back to an old way of being. And we can't ever go backwards. Luciana made a comment, and I've always tried to help people understand with the healing. A lot of times when somebody hurts us, we feel that if they say sorry, that it's fixed it. And she gave me a great analogy she had heard. And I probably will say it very differently to the way that it was said to me. Now, look at yourself for a moment and think. Picture a plate and throw it. Now, the plate is broken. Now, say sorry to the plate. Is the plate still broken? Yes, the plate's broken. Now, picture that plate as being you. You are broken. If somebody says sorry to you, does it change the fact that you were broken? No. Now, love that energy and understand that that healing is a choice that we make now after an aspect of a tower moment, after an aspect of hurt, that nobody can make those pieces go back together again. They are an aspect of you now. But you can make peace with those cracks, with those breaks, and you can proceed forward, okay? It took a long time for me to grasp that. Now, I did that work last year, and it's very frustrating once you've reached a certain point in your healing to understand about codependent patterns, to understand about the mirror, and how in every waking area of your life it directly relates. When people are saying things and you're getting triggered, it's not a you problem, it's a them problem. But if you're getting triggered, it is a you problem. And it's an aspect of something that for you to be free, by you reflecting upon it, it frees you. But while you're staying in that conditioned pattern, and I really asked universe at the beginning of the year, it's like, how do we need to get to a place where we can be like a Buddhist monk? Because really, vibrationally, sticks and stones will break our bones, but gnomes will never hurt us. But we allow those vibrations from past memories to trigger us. To do the work in that area means we will be like a Buddhist monk. where the energy, it will be like Spock on Star Trek. And I do believe the piece dealer mentioned, certain movies. Spock on Star Trek, where he was desensitized. He was like, that's an interesting emotion. Knowing full well scientifically, energetically, spiritually, psychologically, the reason why that person is relating to you in that fashion. And being so detached because it's a them problem, it's not a you problem, that it physically doesn't affect you. We need to get to that place. And I did say this year, a lot of people were coming to a point where they're going through an awakening. They're triggered as hell around you. It can be your parents. It can be your co-workers. It's check it out. It's profound. And last year, I didn't see it and it triggered me. It's like, what is wrong? How are there so many thousands of people on YouTube that are experiencing this vibration? Yes, because we're awoken and we're seeking and we're trying to do the healing work on ourselves. But there were many people that only now are saying, I want more for my life. I want someone to save me. I want someone to say sorry to me so I feel better. And we're realizing we want a better life. And a lot of people are very angry at the moment that they really do want the start. And trust me, Houston, I am with you guys. We all want a new start. You got to go through to get to the other side. So if you want that prize, you have to keep your chin high. You're human. It's okay. But you've got to get to the point where, like this card says, you want to get through this? Brittany, you want a hot body? You better work, bitch. Same shit. You want your prize. You got all the eyes on you. Universe is watching you. They're testing you. They're bloody testing us at the moment. But you need to get to a point where if you're thinking all the shit that's going to happen, trust me, I've done it myself and I manifested every aspect of my affair. Don't do it to yourself. And, I wish I'd known, but it was my life path. It was what I had to go through. Interesting. Look at the card where the holes are on the hands. The sacrifices you make now won't be in vain. Notre Dame burning. The woman's hands were doing that. Give it to universe. Trust. Yes. Our auric field, if you want to energetically protect yourself, a lot of us at the moment, because we went through a mass purge last year, our auric field has been broken down. There are ways you can increase it. One thing you'll notice is when you're frustrated, what do? You put your hands in the air and you breathe and you're like, it's the same thing. That increases your auric field. You need to energetically picture it and you need to blow it out to a point where you actually create that bubble. Now, I made a statement the other day, and I think a couple of people have really, and it was wanting the bubble, wanting to have that healthy boundaries, right? The healthy boundaries, okay, this is my cocoon, this is my grass, you stay over there, okay? This is my grass. One can't always do that and one can't protect yourself. And damn straight through this journey, what we go through is people overstep the mark. It's part of life. We can't control that. But one thing we can note is when we make a statement, analyze, especially when you're saying something quite a bit. And I like to sit back and say, okay, why do I want a bubble? In theory, with everything I've been through spiritually, did the bubble protect me? No. So what do I need the bubble for? Healthy boundaries. Yes, I can create healthy boundaries, but in other domains, it's their energy to create those healthy boundaries. There is also, I agree with you, a lot of childhood trauma coming up, but again, it will be for particular zodiac signs, but the Aries energy isn't going to tolerate you to stay in that consciousness of that energy. And I mentioned to a client the other day, I said, we all are children, and that's where the heart chakra activation is coming from. When we are all being so rigid and having to take accountability, having to do the spiritual work, looking at 3D, and it's all very up and down, you need to get in touch with your inner child. Now, the inner child is the yin and yang. It's the innocence of you being playful. Now, when we say playful, it's like who has time for play? Of late, I have been displaying energies around my daughter that are playful. And it's because, you know, your children and people around you need to see you human. It can be where you have to say, I don't want to adult today, and you stamp on the floor like a child. You know, but make it fun and make it amusing. Humor is the best therapy. You can do things to help you lighten that energy. That is expressive. That can be immature and playful, but it can let you get some steam off. If you need to let your hair down and go play, go play. If you need to leave the dishes there, let that be. Go and do something temporarily to shake that energy off. Because if you're only doing the work, psychoanalyzing a dynamic and trying to proceed forward, but the energy is getting too heavy, you need to shake that frequency off. Because some of the solutions, it's a bit like a painting. You're in it and you're doing your artwork and you're like, right, you need to step back to see it because you're missing the angle, right? That's the same with life. If you don't step back from the scenario to gain that perspective, to calm down, to gain that perspective, you're missing the solutions. Some of these solutions Saturn and Pluto are going to help you with. Jupiter knows what you want. You know, Neptune with the dream knows what you want, but the work that needs to come with it is going to come through those two frequencies. And yes, that does mean tower moments. But don't get scared of the tower moments. Trust me, I've had so many tower moments in my life, it's not funny. But it's only after the fact you directly understand the reason why that was necessary. So many times we tend to feel that our ego is telling us how it's got to be. That blocks it from actually being the way it's supposed to be. And a simpler version of that equation and a healthier way can come through if you let it happen. Does that make sense? And if you can see all the wrinkles, it's all the karmic energy I've had around me for 3 days. It's love and light and peace out. That's where it's really at. Let's tune into the energies of the masculine, feminine, and karmic. This is very interesting energies going through. My daughter. Unbelievable. Hi, Michelle. And I'm not going to turn them up right till I turn them over. We're going to see the overall energy of what's going on with masculine. Feminine. And then we'll look at the external energies as well. Oh, you want that to be up, do you? Really? I'll trust it. Hi, Ange. How are you? Have you been having a fun week? Has it been feeling fun, girl? I've got to take my hat off to this one. Are you joking? Oh, what is she doing? I'm doing a live. No, I'm doing a live. Goodbye. As I was saying, with the universe and my daughter pissing me off, and I just want to say, how the devil did you do it with all those kids, lady? Goodbye. Yeah, and she's goodbye. Shanice, I'm getting mad now. Yes, see, even I get mad. It's been a week, I'm telling you. I'm going to ask you one more time. I'm trying to tune. Can you please go inside? Please. Ange, how did you do it? No, I'm on YouTube. I'm not going to swear. Go inside. I love you too. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, I need the charger.
Goodbye.
I'm going to go use cake.
Yeah, inner child. Oh. Anyway, my lovely friend Ange has many kids, and I was like thinking back on that, and I'm like, girl, how did you do that? Okay, masculines. Okay, they've got a lot on their plate. They have a lot on their plate, and they're feeling under the pump. They're feeling the pressure of time, and they know that something is about to come about. I'm going to pull some clarifiers on these as I go. Or Abraham Hicks. I knew I was going to need these. Because I'm telling you, we're in a manifestation cycle at the moment. Be really careful what you're thinking, especially with the Taurus energy, because the Taurus energy is going to usher in things. Potentially a lot of your old manifestations are going to come through, and it'll be things that you're like, I wanted that back then, and crap, now it's here now, and it's like poor timing. It's the way things go, okay? Oh, wow. Okay. Keep up. Now, the card says immense effort, advance. And it's a 40, which is a 4, which is in relation to next year. Next year's vibrational number is number 4. Yes, I'll be doing a video on the vibration of that next year for 2020. Now, the clarification card is life is supposed to be good for me. Look at how it looks like the Phoenix rising. Okay? Again, what did I say about opening up your auric field? Like, you know what? I've had enough. This is the masculine's energy. It's time. I want this new start. I want this fresh perspective. It doesn't have to be this hard. They're over things taking so long. But they're moving forward. They really are moving forward. They're wanting that fresh beginning. That was the first card that jumped out. They are scared, however. They're wondering how they're going to make it through this. They've got this card in reverse. Shine bright like a candle. You will make it through. I'm going to pull a clarifier on each of these because I do feel this is in relation to a situation that they're needing to karmically leave behind. I can focus on what I do want in a relationship. What did I just say? They can't bring this back. They don't want this back. A connection that is not for them, they're leaving behind. They don't see any light in it. It is not for them. All of us collectively will go through this process. And it's no shade on a karmic energy. They are to the point they did try. They tried to get it where they needed it to be. They all come in. Energies, both on feminine and masculine side, everyone collectively, we will have connections in our life. And be it you're eternal or you're not, this is still relevant. You will have a connection in your lifetime where you felt, and again, this is purging a cycle because we're breaking down, second wavers are breaking down the paradigm of connections. Looking at it, and due to society's accountability, that's what I was supposed to do. Yeah, okay, but hey, some things don't work, right? Then you're trying to still be that frequency and be in that energy, and it just doesn't fit. And no matter what you do, you can't make it fit. They know now this old energy is trying to pull them back. They've already chosen their head and their heart that this was offered. They're thinking about it, and they know that's all they've got their eye on is that love, not people from the past. They've tried that. Impossible things. They're making shit happen. Working through disbelief. Imaginative leaps, fresh perspectives. I do feel by July a lot will be different. We do have an eclipse season coming up around June, July. Again, I'll do videos based on that. There's a lot of transformation in this area. They feel proud as punch. Now, this is interesting. They've got this card from Abraham Hicks in reverse. Billions of us are living in perfect diversity. They're like, they've been having so much things around them that they felt this situation was impossible, that physically they're thinking, you know, that this love is 1 in a million. It's 1 in a million. They didn't think it was possible. Did not think it was possible. They also want to have their own dreams. And for them, you know, they're really meditating upon what that dream is. They do have a lot they're manifesting. Again, look at the way she's sleeping. You know, really and this could be the feminine, but I feel it's more the masculine. The masculine is really reflecting some of their dreams had to come to an end. And, you know, some of those dreams are bittersweet, but they're exhausted. They tried. Their dreams have changed. Definitely with the Libran energy that we had last month. We had 2 Libran moons. We had the first one at 29 degrees, which is usually, it's very toxic. It's a messy situation. And especially being in Venus house, it's like looking at connections, looking at things that we're passionately involved with. Then the 0 degree, it's like the Fool card. It's that leap of faith into the new. When you look at 0 in numerology, it says infinite potentials. And it's good and bad. It's sort of, you know, it's unknown infinite ways of being. Yes, the potentiality of failure. Yes, multiple scenarios of way you could achieve and deal with a situation. But knowing that, you know, a lot of, in order to have those things, we sort of feel, oh, okay, it hit the 0 degree, therefore it started. No, it's a process. We're still having a sense of that frequency coming through, depending on how rigid you are with that energy and not letting go. They're tired. Look at the way she's closing her eyes. Third eye activation, you know, the battle with the ego and really purging those old dreams of what they lost. Looking at it and needing that time. So don't judge the process of wherever the masculine is. The resolve and the closure and the healing that they're getting with what they're currently doing is right where they need to be right now. Trust in the process. And I told you the third eye. My imagination attracts all cooperative relationships. Okay? The moon energy. We just talked about that for the Libran moon. And I'm pulling them as I go. Choices. They feel they have no choice. Some of the choices in their life have been taken from them. Some of the things, karmically speaking, of what they had to go through was what they had to go through in order to learn these cycles. Please, universe, work with me. At one point, I do feel, I wish I had a hairband. At one point, they did feel as though both the masculine and the feminine were too different. Okay? Now they're understanding that diversity is what binds you. It's like, how do you put it? They're understanding how similar, and I've really noticed in my journey, a lot of the way I saw my twin is very much what I am inside. And check it, really think about it. My twin's a very playful person on the outside. I am a playful person, but when it comes to work and when it comes to the things I do, I'm very strict with myself. I hold a benchmark of what I need to be. So he's always been able to tap into my inner child to get me to be fancy free and loosen up. And energetically inside, he's very accountable and strict with himself, but on the external, he's very playful. So we're exactly the same. We come from totally different walks of life, but we are exactly the same energy, but from the inside and the outside different and whole opposite on the swap. So the diversity is what balances the situation. You know, and I feel many people were trying to pull and tell this person that it was different, but they're understanding the fact that that's what balances it. Universe is really kissing the face tonight. Is this my tower moment? I may need to take it inside. Let's tune into the karmics. we're doing it right. Okay, take that. And I guarantee I'll pack up and then it'll stop raining. This is why I want to move. Okay, we'll go again. The Karmics. They don't know what's going to happen next, and this is what's causing the angst and the anxiety. It's getting them they're trying to find out through the grapevine what's going on. They're really trying to find out. It may be that the masculine's actually not sharing as much information. It's through personal choice. And this is really frustrating them. And it might be if they've been in very codependent patterns. And look, karmics don't have to physically be a female energy or a male energy. They can be co-workers and they can be, hey, why is this person all of a sudden changed? They can be family members. Karmic energies do come from spiritual blockages within us and they're morphed out and they're attracted on the 3D. So this could be any given person. It can be a female energy. They're really curious about what's going on. They're not going to keep their temper, okay? They're not going to hold it. They're actually going to blow up. And I do feel it becoming quite toxic. And I did say that, Shelley, when we were talking before. Look at this. It says keep your temper. It's in reverse. They're not going to hold their temper. It's going to come out toxic. So people in a push-pull situation is increasing through the week. Trust me, I'm seeing it on my side of the fence. It's not fun. Interesting. I'm going to pull a clarifier on this, but I'm going to use a different deck. Okay. They're wondering what's going to happen next. What do we need to know about this energy? They're calculated. They're really thinking. It says pause before action. I think they know how this is going to go. I think they know. They're using their intuition. They might be seeing a psychic. They're trying to balance things and they're juggling things. They're weighing up the pros and cons of how to address it. Some of them, it could be a mother, okay? Such a curious dream. So they're wondering what happened to their dream, what happened to their energy. They feel that some of them who have children, that they're wanting to manifest something. It could be that they're trying to manipulate the situation into having a child for some of them. It could also be already this energy is well and truly there. A lot of the masculines aren't buying into that, okay? They've purged a cycle, but they're moving away. This is more a balancing past tense energy. So some that have a karmic that is a feminine, a female energy with a child, this is the reason why they're wondering what's going on, because they could be the direct parent, but they're also wondering if you're going to have a child. They're trying to be realistic though, but they are wondering how realistic this dream they're having is connected to the scenario. Okay, why are they angry? Well, they don't want the connection, but they don't. It's revenge. It's not about the connection. They weren't ready for what's happening. They're not ready at all. Okay? They're concerned about their finances. They feel it's their right due to who they were. They have gotten through this transit of who they are. So the removal of the masculine is to help them find that. And it is giving them a fresh start in a new direction, a different direction. They want to be the head of it and they want this fresh start. But it takes two to tango, okay? So at the moment, it's a dream, it's a manifestation, a manipulation, but I do feel as though it's more a purging of this process. It's going to cause them illness because they feel like they've lost. Okay, final card. Promises that never come to be, empty words, not living in the now. They're realizing that it's gone. They're realizing that it's over. And it kind of come up two ways. So it did come up for some of them. They very much have to touch. They really don't care. It may be more angry about the fact that they're wanting balance in different areas. But the anger does not come from masculine. The anger comes from their childhood wounds. They're moving in a different direction, okay? It is causing a lot of troubles and it's delayed. But, you know, this is ending this cycle out. Let's tune into feminines. And what's going on with your energy? I knew the rain would go away. Jeez. Told you there was a lot of darker energy around, not wanting these messages to come out just to make it hard to come away. You got to be joking. How on earth does this? Thank you, and I'm coming back.